All right, we are live once again. Happy Saturday, everybody, or wherever you're joining from. Good to see you guys. I'm glad you guys are here with me today. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. It's a holiday weekend here in the U.S., which means a 3-day weekend. I think most schools and banks have the Monday off, I believe. I don't really observe those types of holidays. I'll be working on Monday, but half of you will not be. So I'm glad you guys are joining me on your holiday. Those of you who have the chance to celebrate this holiday, I hope you guys are having a great holiday weekend. But anyways, good to see you guys. As usual, today I'm excited about my guest that I have. I haven't talked to her in a while, and we're going to dive deep into all things entertainment today. We're going to pick her brain and learn from all of her expertise, so I hope you guys are ready. And of course, we're going to solve all the world's problems. So we have 1 hour to do that. So we have a lot to talk about, so I better get to it if we're going to do that. But good to see you guys. I see you guys are already doing shout outs. Don't forget to put in the chat any questions that you guys may have. We'll try to get to those questions, as many as possible. And let me know where you're joining from. I love to hear all around the world where you guys are joining us from today. But without further ado, since we do have a lot of world problems to solve, let's bring on my guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you guys here. Let me see if she's here with us today. There she is. Hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today. I love having you on. I appreciate you joining. And as usual, I know that you usually are joining me from Atlanta. Are you still in Atlanta right now?
Yeah, I am. So I moved to Atlanta about a year and a half ago to establish DDO Atlanta. But I've been an agent in Los Angeles for about 6 years. But yeah, I'm currently in Atlanta. But then I'll be back in LA for Thanksgiving to visit my family and friends. Yeah.
Oh, good. Are you looking forward to a nice, mild Thanksgiving weather-wise?
I am. I miss the LA weather. Like, that's the number one thing that I miss. It's usually humid in the south. So when I go back to LA, I love the dry heat. I love seeing everyone that I grew up with. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to the weather and the friends and the food.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and the food, yeah. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday because I love to eat.
Yeah, me too.
It's definitely one of my favorite. I think Thanksgiving and New Year's are my two favorite. Those of you who are not from the U.S. and don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you guys are missing out. It's basically a day where we take the day off. It's always on a Thursday, which is nice because then you have Friday to recover from your food coma from eating too much food. But yeah, I like to. I love food, so
I try not to eat because I sometimes look at those Black Friday sales that Friday. Can't really do that if you're in like food comatose for 24 hours. So, but it's been a while since I've done it, but that's always a possibility.
I try not to eat the day before Thanksgiving. I try to do it that way. Yeah, so save up for the food. In fact, speaking of Thanksgiving, last year I was in Australia for Thanksgiving. We had a Friendsgiving in Australia.
Oh gosh, I love Australia. It's last time I was there with you guys, like 2 years ago or so. But yeah, it wasn't on my bucket list. But when I went, I was like, okay, I see the magic of Australia. I get it.
Yeah, I see Taya shouting out from Adelaide over here. So we have some Australians in the house. Yeah, so it was fun. We did Thanksgiving, which is always like the third. I think it's the third week in November, typically.
I think so.
And so we were in Australia. There was me and I have my clients. Some of my clients were there with us, and there was a group of like 8 of us from the U.S. And so we said, let's do a Friendsgiving, and we went to the store, and of course we were looking for turkey. To the traditional turkey in Australia, not a lot of turkey to be found at the grocery store.
Yeah.
We ended up finding like a turkey roll. It was like in a almost like an aluminum type of a product that probably imported from the U.S., I would imagine. But yeah, it was like a turkey roll. And
Oh,
so we
that's
threw
interesting.
yeah, we threw that in the oven, and we had all the rest of everything, of course, but we had
Yeah.
our token turkey.
Yeah. What did it taste more tasty than the actual turkey?
It it was, let's just say it was different.
Okay. That's fair.
No, it was fun though. It's fun. I love traveling, and of course, even just experiencing that moment of not like getting your traditional turkey, but being somewhere overseas was fun to do. So.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now you're making me hungry. We're supposed to be
know.
solving world problems here. We're talking about food.
Right.
Well, let's dive in. I want to dive in deep with you today. I hope you're ready for this. My first question is going to come at you. Probably, I don't know what you have talked about yet, but before we get into it, I want to just explain to everybody. So you're in the Atlanta office for your company, and you basically launched the Atlanta office, or help launch the Atlanta office, right? Is that
Correct.
and why did you guys decide as a company to launch an Atlanta location?
Yeah, so again, I was working with DDO LA for about 6.5 years at that point, and we are one of the few agencies that were in three major markets. So we were in LA, Chicago, New York, and because there was a big transition of productions moving from LA to Atlanta or the Southeast in general, the owner of DDO, she really wanted to capitalize on the productions that were transitioning to the South. And so I was already working with the Southeast casting directors out of LA. And so it was like I was the best choice to spearhead the Atlanta. So I thought long and hard about it. And you know what, I've never lived anywhere else. I know it's LA. Let me give it a go. And so I transitioned down here to fall production. And I'm glad I did, because we have a series regular. We have clients working on many episodics. There's commercial, there's print, there's a plethora of studios that are popping up all over the South. So it was a really good idea to branch down into the South.
Good. So you're finding good success by being there in Atlanta, and
Correct.
that's quite a move. So you had the courage to leave LA and do that.
Yeah. And everyone that I meet here in Atlanta, they're like, why did you move down here? We're trying to go there. And I'm like, I'm here for work, I'm here for business, but ultimately it's a really good market for new actors, even established actors. I feel that casting directors in the Southeast are. Am I there? Okay. They're willing and eager new faces. So it's a really good market. It's a thriving market for new actors and established.
Nice. So a lot happening in the South.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
Good. Well, excellent. I love it. So with the Atlanta market, you're finding obviously, so they're more accepting to newer actors than they are in LA.
I mean, I would say when you look at the LA market and the number of actors to LA to pursue their dream, it's hard to break through thousands of actors that are moving to LA. Whereas Atlanta, it's not necessarily a mecca for actors traditionally compared to LA. So casting directors are willing to take a chance to say, oh, I don't know this person. Oh, let me go ahead and take a chance. Let me see what they do. Let me see what they bring to the table. And then from there, they are given, I would say there's more ample opportunity to be seen by casting directors than in the LA market. I mean, it's not that it's not possible, but it's just a little bit more difficult to become established in LA when compared to Atlanta for new actors.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So because LA has been around for so long and they're just so set in their ways that you're finding it to be completely different than
It's a different approach. And the casting directors again in Atlanta are like they're very eager to find the new face, a new person that they haven't seen before. They're eager to give new faces an opportunity to read for different roles. Whereas with LA, it's again there's thousands upon thousands of actors. It's a flooded market. So to maximize or to have the ability to be seen for even the same projects, because they cast out of LA, New York for the Southeast, and you have your separate Southeast casting director. It's just a little bit easier to maneuver when compared to the other major markets because it's a newer market.
And now the studios that are there, I know that they've created some studios there, and there's a lot of production that's actually happening in Atlanta itself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, good. Now, as far as, are they more willing to take talent from outside of Atlanta as well? Is that something that you see with the castings? Do you see that they're, if they're not living in Atlanta, do they accept people from outside or nearby?
It's a 50-50, I would say, meaning that a lot of the Southeast casting directors are really looking for actors that are based in the Southeast to give those Southeast actors an opportunity to move forward in their career, to add credits, whatever it may be. Sometimes they're willing to take a chance on actors outside of Atlanta. I've had some clients in LA that have flown in for productions in Atlanta. So it's on a case to case basis, just depending on what they're looking for. If they can't find it locally, they'll start looking in other markets to bring actors in for those productions. So sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's a no. Like that's the one thing about this industry is that there's a ton of gray area. So it's not always a yes, it's not always a no. It just kind of depends on the project. It depends on the actor. It depends on what they're looking for. And if they can't find it in the Southeast, they'll look to LA or New York or Chicago to bring in those actors. And the same thing with LA casting directors. They do kind of want to focus on hiring local actors for those productions as well. And so if I have a really strong Atlanta actor, the LA casting directors are going to look at the pool that they have before them, in front of them, before they start looking for actors out of other markets. So it's kind of the same for all markets. They want to hire locally, but sometimes they just can't find what they want, and so they'll branch out.
Now I have Joe's asking a question. He asked about that, but he's actually based in Orlando, so he's
Okay.
not that far from you. I would say Orlando's like a suburb of Atlanta.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not that far. I actually have clients that are all over the Southeast. I have clients, obviously, in Atlanta. I have clients in Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, the Carolinas. The one big difference between Atlanta and all of the other markets is that ours is a regional market. So I things will shoot in Atlanta, but things will also shoot in Tennessee. Things will also shoot in Alabama or Florida. Like there is a new episodic called MIA. I think it's going to be for Peacock. About missing persons, which filmed in Miami, and they hired Atlanta actors, but they were really hiring out of like the Florida pool of actors that are stationed there. So there's plenty of opportunities all over. So Orlando is not that far. Actually, I have a couple clients that live there, and they'll drive up for the most part if they end up booking something filming in Atlanta. The one main thing is that for all markets, regardless of like if it's Chicago, New York, LA, Atlanta, is that you're going to need to have a local address in that market to be considered a local hire for that market. This has to do with tax incentives, tax credits at the end of the year. They want to receive a certain amount back on money that was spent for the production. And the only way to guarantee those tax rebates is to hire local talent for those productions. And so if I have a client that's in Orlando, they're a local hire to Atlanta, that's fantastic. They would just need to have a local address, not a hotel, not a PO box, not an Airbnb. You would have to have like a friend or a family member that you can stay with and or utilize their address to be considered a local hire.
But couldn't an actor, I mean, that's obviously we're kind of diving into different things, but if
Mhm.
somebody wanted to be local, let's say even let's talk about even LA, if they were to rent a place, you're saying that they would have to have like a lease, or they would have to have a family friend, or somebody that they could use that physical address for?
Yeah, and the main reason why I say a family friend or a family member or a friend is because a lot of times with productions, start and stop dates are never very clear cut, especially when it comes to feature films. For feature films, let's say, or episodics, whatever it may be, you book the project. Let's say wardrobe is on a Thursday evening, but they're not filming you until Tuesday. And so you're kind of stuck in that city for 4 or 5 days, and it starts to add up. Like you're starting to pay out of pocket if you're in a hotel. So it ends up becoming pricey, and you might not make a return on investment with your flight, your last minute flight, hotel stay. It can add up. So that's why I say a family member or a friend to stay with, because sometimes the wardrobe dates can be a little bit distant from the actual shoot date. And so you kind of want a place to stay that you're not paying for, because they're probably going to make, if it's a co-star, like $1,300 for the day. If it's a guest star, probably maybe $2,500, $3,000 for a day. So you kind of want to make sure that you're making money off of your booking, not paying out of pocket for a booking. So that's why I say family member or a good friend to stay with. But mainly you'll need that address for the contract. And I've had clients before that have said, I don't really care about making money. I really want to get the credit. I want the set experience. I want exposure, and that's fine and dandy. But as long as you have, that local address, that's key.
And the set that they want it because they get the tax incentive for you to have that address as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, not to talk taxes or politics or dive into that stuff, but let's talk taxes and politics. No, no, because we're kind of on topic of this. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were, or if you have any thoughts about Trump made the announcement. The current president of the U.S. made the announcement about the tariffs for the movie industry. I saw this article come across, I think it was last week, and I don't know if it's just one of his announcements where he's just talking and he says, "Oh, this is a good idea," or if he's really serious about it. Obviously, that remains to be seen. But let's just get into it. If it is true, does that help or hurt the U.S. Production market? I don't know what to really make of it. I've never even heard of something like this before. But my first instinct was, well, this may help the U.S. market because I know that states use the tax credits to try to draw business to the state. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it in the perspective of, well, he's trying to create basically a tax credit, not really in a form of a tariff, but to keep business in the U.S. versus outside the U.S. So he's trying to create an incentive for more business to be produced in the U.S. On the surface of it, I don't even know how it works. I'm not into politics. I don't enjoy the subject much. But I thought when I first read it, I thought, well, maybe this will bring more business back to the U.S. I don't know what your thoughts are, or what they're saying around the office.
It's funny because I haven't done a deep dive into what exactly the tariff is going to do or how it will affect us. I don't think there's ever been a tariff on entertainment. It's kind of hard to tariff something that is not necessarily like a product that is tangible, if that makes sense.
Right. No, that's what I was thinking too. When you start to think about it, how does it even work?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but it's actually funny that he mentioned the tariff, because at this particular time in the industry, things were flowing. Well, if you backtrack like a couple years, things were flowing from LA down to the Southeast. And this is why I'm down in Atlanta. As of the past, let's say like 5, 6 months, productions have started to go overseas. You can really see that when it comes to Marvel movies. They did a lot of filming in Atlanta, like that really put Atlanta on the map with all like the Peacemaker, all of these different episodics. Feature films were filmed here in Atlanta. Now they're doing the new Spider-Man movie over in the UK. And so, yeah, like Tom Holland, all of them are over there filming. And so there's been a transition of large feature films moving out of the country, and they're filming all over Europe. I've seen breakdowns for it where they're casting like some of the lead roles, filming in Dublin, filming, wherever it may be. And so I've started to notice that productions are moving overseas, especially Canada. I know that's not overseas, but up north, up into Canada, where like Peacemaker, there's a bunch like the Mayfair Witches, which was filming in Louisiana, that moved up to Vancouver. A lot of things have transitioned out of the country. I find it interesting that he mentioned the tariffs at this particular time with productions leaving the country. So I don't know how that's going to affect those productions, if it's going to slow the rate of productions leaving the country. A part of me felt when I saw the news come through, I thought to myself, I'm like, well, this is perfect timing. Well, maybe this will prevent productions from leaving the country, because once a production leaves the country, you have them casting only like the lead roles, maybe here in the States, which is only going to be like a handful, maybe 15 or so actors are going to the UK to film. Then the rest of the supporting cast are all going to be hired in the UK. And so then all the actors in the States lose out on that opportunity to work on a nice solid feature film. And I actually read an article about that, and they said that they are transitioning out of the States because of healthcare, the cost of healthcare, like the taxes, like retirement. They don't have to pay any of that in other countries like they do here in America. So I don't know. A part of me is hoping that it's a positive thing. I just don't know how that's going to how it's going to turn out. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on it.
Right. I think I'm in the same boat. When I read the article or I saw the headline, I thought, well, this could be a good thing. But then I start to think about it. I'm like, well, I don't really know how that even works, or I've never heard of it before. I don't even know. And then you never know. He might just be talking and maybe trying to prevent productions from leaving because they're afraid that they will be hit with a tariff instead, or, but obviously that remains to be seen. And who knows?
We're kind of see how it plays out.
And more than just the actors themselves, too, you're losing out on the makeup artists and all the support for the production. Lighting and sound and special
Catering.
effects and catering. Yeah, so interesting. I guess we'll have to stay tuned to find out what's happening with that. Now, another controversial subject that came up, and I thought, well, I'm going to ask Candace, see what she thinks. Have you heard of Tilly Norwood?
Yes, I have.
How do you feel about this new AI actress, Tilly Norwood?
I don't know. I don't know how to wrap my mind around it, to be honest with you. I mean, they're doing the same thing in the music industry where they have like a new AI artist that's like, I believe she's working with Timberland or something like that. And like she's like on like the Billboard charts. Like she's not that high up, but she's on there. I don't know what to think about AI artists. I don't know how exactly that is going to play out. It's interesting. I don't know if any agency is going to touch that. I feel like if anyone is going to move forward with that, it's going to be the studios themselves, like directly. As opposed to working with agencies and working with actual actors, they'll just have like a plethora of like AI actors under their belt. I don't know. But I don't know exactly how the public is going to respond or react to that, because I think with entertainment, is the ability to connect with other humans. And I think we look at these actors to bring characters to light, to bring emotions that we may have like built up inside, or to spark something within us, a motivation, whatever it may be. And we look at human actors to bring that out of us because they're like a mirror. We see ourselves in them. I don't know if we're going to be able to see ourselves in an AI generated person, if that's even the right word to call it. If it's a person, I don't know. But an AI generated artist, like I don't know if we would be able as humans to connect with an AI generated image like we are with other human beings. They can't walk the red carpet. They can't do like meet and greets. You can't hug them. You can't get their signature. They're not going to be, at galas and, movie premieres. So it's very interesting. And I think that we're at the beginning of, obviously this is the start of it. But I don't know if it's going to have longevity or if it's even going to get off the ground. I mean, they've tried with AI generated like background artists, and you can tell that it's AI generated. Like you can tell, I think at the Sphere right now, they're doing the Wizard of Oz in Vegas. And so like they had to use AI generated background actors to like fill the big screen of the Sphere. And people were filming it like, this doesn't look right. Like these actors don't look like they even fit in the right time period. Like, what is this? And it was like, oh, they had to create AI generated to expand the image of the film. But as of now, I don't think the technology is there, but as the technology gets better, I think it's something to keep an eye on. But I just don't know how the public is going to react to something that's not actually a human.
I think if they at least have a disclosure, not that, I don't know. It's hard to say because it's like, are you going to start putting regulation on it and disclosures? Like at the beginning of the movie, the credits, it says, okay, this character, this character, this character is all AI, so that way But I think there's a place for it for sure. Like, no doubt about it, it's coming. We all saw it coming. And I know it's not going to take over. I know that for a fact only because I know what I enjoy watching, and I don't necessarily enjoy watching anime all the time or cartoons all the time. There's a place for that, but it's not my everyday consumption.
Right.
And so I feel the same way about AI. If I'm watching an AI scene in front of me, I get bored. I even see clips on social media, little AI produced stuff. I don't really like to watch that stuff. It doesn't really intrigue me that much as if I saw a human being doing some incredible feat. I'm intrigued because there's the sense of danger and there's the sense of excitement. But then when I see an AI, scaling a mountain wall without ropes, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't intrigue me. Mm-hmm. So I see that there's a place for it.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it taking over. But I also think that maybe they should let us know.
Yeah, I do agree with you, like piggybacking off of the fact that like watching an AI scale a wall because there's nothing at stake. Like when you're watching Tom Cruise jump out of an airplane, then lands on a motorcycle and then clears a canyon, you're like, okay, wait a minute, like he literally could have died. And so there's something's at stake. With an AI actor, there's nothing's really at stake. There's no imminent danger in any way, shape, or form. So I think that you lose the audience a bit because there's nothing at stake. I do agree with you as well that AI is not going anywhere. It's it's like when we were introduced to the internet. It was one of those things where like companies and people like librarians, like people were so upset and they were like, well, we need books and people are going to be online. They're not going to, and the industries have changed. Like now they have, what do you call it? They have ebooks and like they have like, whatever it may be to take up the Slack Kindles and all that jazz. So the book industry or publishing industry transitioned to other avenues. But with AI, I feel that it's not going anywhere. I think it's going to be incorporated even more so in the entertainment that we're going to be consuming. And I do agree that there has to be some type of disclosure or, disclaimer at the end, like highlighting that, hey, some of this is AI generated, so that way we are aware of what it is that we're watching.
Right. And going back to Tilly, I think the thing was is there was actually agents who were scrambling to represent her.
I
And so
know.
that's why the news was why it kind of came out in the news because she's been around for a little while. But did you see that SAG? I think SAG they released a statement that said to boycott any agency that ends up working with her or something.
Yeah, I saw that, and for me, I just don't. I I don't see. I'm thrown by it, to be honest with you. Like wrapping my mind around representing someone that's not actually tangible is very baffling to me. Like maybe I've been doing this so long, I'm a little bit older and I don't see how it transitions or how it translates. But again, I can see studios leaning into that. I just don't know how agents are going to maximize that. Like how, like it's interesting. You lease or license their image for a particular project. Like it's so interesting. Yeah, it's like it's at the very beginning. So I'm going to keep an eye on it and see how it plays out. But it's intriguing all the way around.
We're definitely going to see more of it. I'm sure there will be full movies where it's 100% AI generated, which, again, that's fine. And I'm sure there's a place for it in the marketplace and people will enjoy it. And like you said, we want to, as human beings, we want to have a connection with people. And I agree with you. But
Yeah.
then there's also people have a connection with Mickey Mouse too. So.
Good point. Very good point.
So I see that there's definitely going to be a group of people that will definitely be connected to those AI actors, probably more so than others. But again, I see it just as maybe another genre, like then maybe they should have awards separate from. Because I was talking about Tilly, and I said, what's going to happen when the first AI gets nominated for an award? That's going to be weird, right?
It's gonna be so interesting. I hope I'm a fly on the wall during those conversations. It's very interesting. Like, yeah, we're in a very interesting time and AI is moving so rapidly. It's moving so quickly. Like I remember 5 years ago, like AI generated content, like you could obviously tell because the hands weren't formed properly and like there were like glitches in the face and the transitions didn't make any sense, like your shirt's changing patterns as you're talking. But now it's a little bit more cohesive and it's getting better. Like within like every 6 months, like you see a new video and it's baffling. It's like, wow, like they really are moving forward at astronomical pace. But yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. And the other thing too about AI is that they're talking about like legacy actors, like using like actors that have passed away, like James Dean or whoever it may be, contacting their estate, utilizing their image and likeness, and creating AI generated content surrounding actors that have passed away. So we'll see how that also plays out because yeah, there's so many possibilities of watching like Robin Williams do a comeback for like Aladdin 3. Like what? Like it's possible because the technology's on its way, but do we really want that? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. It's just weird, right? I love it. I think it's exciting times. It feels weird. Everybody's just kind of on edge because we don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's almost. I think we live in the most exciting time ever.
Yes. Like when you look at technology and the advancement
Right.
of technology within the past like 20, 30 years, like it's mind blowing how fast we're moving forward and how fast things are coming together with technology. It's wild.
Well, speaking of speed, I know we kind of got deep into some heavy topics here that are kind of trending right now, but I just wanted to pick your brain and get your opinion and see what you thought about it or what you guys are talking about in the office. But speaking of speed, let's talk about current aspiring actors, right? Well, I want those people who are watching today who are looking to break into the industry, what are some tips that you would give somebody today who is maybe sitting at home watching and thinking, how can I become an actor? Like, what would be the best way for them to speed up their career? How can they become an actor next year?
Okay. I mean, I would say number one, make sure that you're getting into the industry under the right pretenses. I think that sometimes people want to pursue this industry because they want fame or stardom or money. And that's a great motivator. However, you have to have a passion for acting. It has to be part of your makeup, who you are. I think that there's a lot of no's in this industry. There's a lot to overcome. There's a lot that things that are not going to go your way, and then you're going to have things that are going to go your way, which is the best motivator. But I think that you would need to, number one, have the right mindset of why you're wanting to get into this industry, and also to what you want to get out of it. Are you going to be happy and okay by doing maybe just a supporting role, or maybe not being the number one person listed on the call sheet because it's a passion? So I think number one is the mindset. Number two, I would say, make sure that you are willing to invest in your career, taking the right classes, investing in headshots, investing in your websites, your Actors Access profile, or the profiles that your agents and managers use to submit you. It's not one of those industries where, you can just do the bare minimum and squeak by and get, bookings or be seen by casting easily. So you have to invest in yourself. So you have to be prepared for that as well. Make sure that you do your research, that you know, research the agencies that you want to work with, do research on managers you want to work with, research acting classes, cross compare that with other lists of classes, talk to other fellow actors, get recommendations for acting classes, teachers, things along those lines, for the headshot photographers. So I think you would have to put a lot of energy and be dedicated to finding the right fit for you and investing in yourself. Because once you're able to do that, and once you do that, things start to come your way. You will start submitting to agencies and managers because your headshots are speaking to them, or you've taken the right classes with different acting teachers, whoever it may be, that they're looking for on the resume. Be willing to do work for little to no pay, especially at the beginning. You'll be submitting yourself probably to like student films, short films, any type of production that that you can audition for and get hired to do, so you have material to work with, so that way you can create a reel. So it's a lot of boots on the ground at the very beginning to establish yourself, to become someone that agencies are willing to take a chance on, because at the end of the day, we're salesmen. We sell actors to casting directors. We sell actors to production companies. That's what we do. And so once you have a nice package and you have material that we can utilize to get you seen, that makes a new actor enticing to us. Is that, they've put in this much work and this much energy on their own. I can tell that they're not just waiting for an agent to sign them, that they're willing to do what needs to be done, so that the package is together and they are sellable. And then you start to create and build out your team from there.
I love those points, and I want to go back to your first point. Get into the industry with the right expectation. How does somebody do that? So you're telling me, first and foremost, don't just go after it because of the money. Don't go after it because you see the glamour side and you think, oh, that would be so much fun to walk a red carpet. I want to do that someday. But go after it because it's in you, and you love performing. I think most people find if it's in them, if they do something local on stage. I've talked to so many actors, and you always ask them, what inspired you to do this? And they'll always say that first time I went out on stage
Yep.
and I did my performance, whether it be in middle school or whenever it was, I realized I love this. This is fun.
Yeah.
So I would think that obviously that's first and foremost. But then you made a very interesting point, is to try to figure out what your expectations are. So basically, where do you see yourself as an actor? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So
'Cause
somebody like myself, I see myself as a leading man. Is that too high of expectations?
no,
Is
I
that
mean, look how awesome you are. You're definitely a man. Like, come on now. I mean, like for expectations, I mean, like for example, like I have clients on my roster, my LA, because I do split my time still between LA and Atlanta. I did tell the owners of DDO that I didn't want to leave the LA market fully because that's the market that I was born and raised in, and my connections are through and through in the LA market. So I have LA actors that have been doing this for 30 plus years. Sometimes you'll like people recognize their face, they don't know their name. I know that you were in this movie and that TV show. I remember this scene, but no one knows their name. But you have to be okay with realizing that not everyone is going to be number one on the call sheet. You have to realize that maybe I am going to be a supporting actor, or I'll be, one of the day players, or whatever capacity that the industry sees you as and how far you're able to advance. There's a lot of ebbs and flows in this industry. There's clients that will audition 3-4 times a week for months on end, and then randomly it'll just stop. And then you kind of have because productions have slowed down or the right roles haven't come through, and then it'll pick back up again. So you have to be okay with realizing that not everyone's going to be Tom Cruise, or they're not going to be Angelina Jolie. Like, you're not going to be number one, but you have to be okay accepting the fact that you are a key player to the production. You're a key player to making the world become real for the viewers, for people that are consuming the content, that you are vital regardless of how small the role is. But you have to just kind of come in with a more realistic expectation that it's not going to happen overnight. Becoming a celebrity overnight. They used to say that a lot back in the day. Like, oh, they blew up overnight. No one blew up overnight. People have been working and grinding for years upon years upon years. But once it does hit, it happens very rapidly. It can happen I've seen it happen to clients in the past. It happens rapidly, but they've put in the work, they've put in the effort, they've put in the commitment, they've auditioned for casting directors for multiple years until the right thing came along that really fit them. So just having those realistic expectations that it's not going to happen overnight, that you may not be number one on the call sheet, but realizing that you are pursuing your passion and getting out of it anything out of it it's worthwhile to pursue. I hope that explains.
Yeah, and there's a lot of actors out there who have been in hundreds of productions, but yet they're not, like you said, that common household name that everybody knows. When you say their name, everybody recognizes, but yet when you see them on a movie, and that happens to me all the time. I see somebody on a TV show, a new series I'm watching, or a new movie, I think, wow, where have I seen this? I see this person all the time, and I have to, go on IMDb and look them up and see what else they're doing. And yeah, but you can have a very successful career.
You can have a successful career for sure. Like, that's why I like watching things. I think it's on Amazon Prime, where when you pause it, it'll have the list of like the people that are currently on screen, and then from there I'm like, I know this person. Then I'll scroll down to their face, and then like all their credits will pop up, and it's like, oh, that's right, he was in Yellow Jackets, or he was in that show from like, the 90s. Oh my gosh, I can't remember, like, whatever it may be. But you can have a rewarding career. Like, it's like we have actors that are professional actors, meaning that's their bread and butter. They don't do anything else but act. And that's the goal. The goal is to maintain your livelihood by solely focusing on acting work. That's the ultimate goal. What stardom comes along with it, it happens. Maybe not for everyone, but maintaining a livelihood by doing what you are passionate about should be the goal.
And it's probably hard for an actor to really look at themselves and be honest with what kind of an actor that they are. And maybe they have to have a journey through acting and roles to realize who they are.
Yeah.
But do you find any of your actors that you work with that think that they're somebody else, but yet you know that they're not that, they're this?
I'll be honest. When I meet with new actors, I ask them very pointed questions to get an idea of where their mindset is. Because if I don't see you the way that you see yourself, it's not going to be a good working relationship. It's not going to be a good dynamic. Everything that you're going to be auditioning for, you're not going to want to audition for because you see yourself differently. So I have very pointed questions about like, what age range can you play? We make sure that we're all on the same page about what you can play. Sometimes you have 40-year-olds that are like, I can play high school. And you're just like, that's not, no. So you want to make sure that you're on the same page because we're working hand in hand. Again, I ask those pointed questions to make sure we're on the same page. And because at the end of the day, there might be another agent down the street who sees that and can sell you like that. But I definitely don't see that. So you want to make sure that that's why it's important to meet with as many agents as possible. And when I meet with someone and I do ask them, do you have other meetings? And they go, yes. I'm like, great, take your time, take all the meetings that you can, because you want to work with someone who sees you the way that you see yourself. And also too, to kind of piggyback off of that, as an actor, I know that an actor can play multiple types of roles. Like, I get it. Like, that's what you train to do, is to be many different types of people, different types of characters. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with being typecast. There's nothing wrong with leaning into what comes easy for your look and your acting type. Some actors don't want to audition for things like, oh, well, I play, the stereotypical character all the time. I don't want to play that character anymore. And it's like, but you're working, like you're a working actor. And I use Jim Carrey as an example. Jim Carrey was playing the same, like from The Mask and all these different movies. He was like the slapstick, over the type, like the Grinch character, like very charactery, for most of his career. And then as he started to mature and convince, executive producers that he could do dramas, he started to transition into dramedies, then more heavier content, to the point where it was like, oh, he could be nominated for an Oscar for some of the dramas that he's doing. So it's okay to lean into the type that comes easy to you, because once you're an established working actor, you can basically start taking on any type of role that is presented to you, and people will give you that opportunity because you've proven yourself to be a go-to A-list actor or B or C-list actor. Those opportunities will come.
He did the work, proved that he's workable, that he's good in the industry, he's easy to work with, and then he was able to convince people that he no longer wants to be just typecast.
Yeah. And what doesn't hurt is you're an executive producer on those dramas. Like, now you're coming to the game with money, and you're putting money behind your dramatic performance. So once you are able to bring some of the money to the table, people are not going to say no. But then it's proving oneself. It's, leaning into what comes easy to you. Like, when you watch different TV shows, I can't think of examples of exact names, but a lot of times you'll see the same actors playing mafioso characters. Like, oh, he was in, Goodfellas, and I saw him in this, and because that's his type. So it's okay to audition for characters of a similar type repeatedly, because that's how casting sees you. And that's fine. Lean into it, maximize, become the go-to person. When casting thinks of a character, they instantly think of you. Like, that should be the goal. Because down the line, as you continue to train, stay in a class, because all those actors are still training and they're still in classes. A lot of them still have set teachers that they work with, the A-listers, that is. And then as time moves along, more opportunities and different opportunities will start coming your way. But it's okay to be typecast and just become that go-to guy or go-to gal.
I think a good example of that is like Danny Trejo. You know,
Oh,
Danny Trejo, the older. I saw a documentary that they produced with him in it, and it's so fascinating. I loved it. It was actually really good. I highly recommend anybody out there that has not seen that. But you know, Danny Trejo, he comes out of prison. He's got the prison tattoos and this. He's a bad-looking guy, you know, and of course he's typecast as the bad guy. He always, you know, that's what he did. But he's had a very, very successful career and has stuck with that, and he understands that's who he is and that's what he looks like, and he still lives like in the same neighborhood as when he grew up as a kid. And during the documentary, he's actually with the film crew. He's driving around his old neighborhood. He's like, I held that place up at gunpoint when I was 14, and I robbed them. And he's pointing out like these little, little convenience stores and stuff. Yeah, it's fascinating. But what a great, you know, story where he came from all that hardship, transformed his life completely, got into acting, typecast, but he's actually done some non. Yeah, he's got some children's movies and you know, kind of young adult movies and stuff that he's been a part of. Where he probably, if you were to ask him in the beginning of his career, would he ever be doing, you know, G-rated movies, you know, with kids watching, he probably would have said probably not. You know? And so you're saying, as even if you're not really appreciating the typecast that you are, accept it, embrace it, have success with it, and then you can end up doing whatever you want to do once you're successful, right? That's the key.
Yes. Yeah. And I tell my clients as well, like, you know, if, you know, I call it the low hanging fruit. Like if it's like the easier type of roles to pursue for them, because that's what they play all the time, I still do submit them for roles that they may not normally audition for. I still submit them. I still push casting to see them in a different light. Sometimes it's successful, other times it's not. But that's, again, your team is behind you and they're going to try to get you as many opportunities as you possibly can. So I say that to say that it's not that we're that as represented as reps, we're definitely going to cast a wide net because we know that you have the ability to do so. But be excited for all of those opportunities that come your way, even if it's a repetitive type of character. Like work is work and work only begets work. Like when you're on set, you meet new producers, you meet new executive producers, you meet the writers, you meet fellow actors that when they move on to other things, they remember you, they love working with you, and they'll call you over to join. And so that's why it's important to always say yes to, you know, not to everything, because everyone, you know, at the end of the day, if you don't want to do a particular thing, then you don't have to do it. But I would say lead with, okay, let's see where this goes, before cutting it off, before your career can really blossom into something special. Just be open to opportunities.
Have you seen the new Charlie or his documentary with? I'm sorry. He got the role of. Sorry, I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
He got the role of the Karate Kid. Did you see that with who? Hold on. Sorry, my mind's drawing a blank. It's been a long day. But just speaking about opportunities, right? And not knowing what opportunities are going to lead to what, in networking and growing and using what you have in front of you to build your resume, to build your network, to build your experience. And this industry is so small that a lot of people move and there's a lot of moving parts, but it's a small industry. And so if you do a really good job, the word gets around really quickly.
And if you're difficult to work with, the same thing happens. It's a small industry and people's word gets around, and that's that. So that's why I would say be gracious, you know, be easy to work with. Always be on your best behavior. Always aim to impress. Because again, casting directors move on to new projects, producers produce new things, actors are going to move on to other things. They're going to suggest you. They're going to think of you all the time. And so that's a really good way of starting to get your career to steamroll forward is by just being the best that you can in all aspects that you bring to the table.
Right. What I was the person I was trying to find his last name is Charlie Sheen. I don't know why I missed his last name.
The Netflix
Did
documentary?
did you watch this documentary?
I didn't yet, but it's on my watch list.
So at the beginning of his career, believe it or not, this is pretty amazing. Not to give away, everything in the story, but he actually landed a small part in a horror movie, but he also landed the role in Karate Kid after that. And they happened to both be in production. So he was actually supposed to be Ralph Macchio. He was the Karate Kid. They said yes to him. And so he was gonna skip out on this little tiny horror movie. I think he was he was one of the first people to die in the horror movies, so your first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you're done. And he was gonna skip on that. He already committed to it, and it was filming overseas, and he said, no, I want to be the Karate Kid.
Right,
I got this lead role in this movie. And he asked if they could move production around and if they could wait, and they said no. So and his dad, being an actor himself, of course, said, no, you've already committed to the horror movie, so you need to do this. And guess what? He said, of course, Karate Kid's summer blockbuster movie of the year and all this fame and everything. And he was just so resentful for the next year or so.
Oh, no.
As you could probably imagine, seeing all the success that, Ralph Macchio was having with that show and that movie, I would imagine how that would feel. But
Charlie Sheen's lucky he wasn't my client, because I would have been like, I'm so sorry, he's doing Karate Kid.
he said it was a blessing in disguise, because he later looks back at it saying, oh, I'm so grateful I didn't get that role, because he feels that it really wasn't the right fit for him, and that it led him to all these other, opportunities and the success that he's had. So
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
I can't picture him as being the Karate Kid, though. I mean, I'm trying to imagine that in my mind. I'm like, well, maybe.
I know when you mentioned it, my first thought was, okay, what did Charlie Sheen look like back then? And I remember, and I can't see it, because Ralph Macchio really brought something unique to that character. Like, he really embodied like the kind of semi nerdy kid that's being, bullied so that he has to pursue karate training. I don't see Charlie Sheen as being the bullied type, but who knows? But yeah, in another universe somewhere, alternate universe, Charlie Sheen was Karate Kid, and who knows what that would look like.
We can ask AI to create that movie for us.
There you go.
We can start typing in our own movies. That's going to come, I'm sure, in the near future, where we can sit down and be like, what do we want to watch today? Oh, let me type in Charlie Sheen playing the Karate Kid, and then they'll play the whole thing.
They'll play the whole thing with his face. Yes, could see that.
I should look into that now. That's where the future is. I need to find some guys who are interested in creating that.
Right.
Well, our time is running up. I've really enjoyed solving all of these world problems, anyways, that we've hit on today. But any big plans that you have happening this weekend? Anything exciting happening?
I'm so bored. Looking forward to the LA Rams playing their football game Sunday.
I love it. Yeah.
That's pretty much all I'm looking forward to. Like right now, it's just the football season started.
It's that time of year. Football season is upon us. So looking forward to a nice, relaxing Sunday is what you're saying.
Basically, and I'll be doing meal prep for the week, some football, probably some beer, and that's pretty much it.
It sounds like a wonderful weekend. But
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
before you leave, if somebody wanted to work with you or work with your agency, what's the best approach that they can take? Is there a place that they could submit on a website like for that, or how does that work?
Yeah, our website. I should know because I've been at the company for 9 years. So yeah, our company website is ddoagency.com. So you can go there. It has all the different divisions listed. And then you're able to take a look at the staff. You can take a look at, our team, what is our diversity and inclusion initiative. So you can go to the website, and then from there, there's a tab for submissions, and it'll give you the email address for each division on how to submit your materials to that particular department. And yeah, you can kind of go to that website and pull that information and reach out to anyone that, that you're interested in working with.
Excellent. And so, of course, prepare your resume, prepare everything that's important for you guys to see before you submit on that site. Get everything together, make it as professional as possible, right?
100%, because there's nothing worse than getting an email that just says, "Hi, I want to be an actor. Like, what do I need to do?" It's like, no, just go ahead and give us like the full story, like who you are, where you're from, what you're looking to do, what you're trying to pursue. Attach, your website. If you have a website, like any materials that you can send our way for further consideration, we will take a look at. So that's a website, maybe your online, your casting profiles, or maybe it's like, a PDF of your resume and your headshot. I say send as much as you can. The more materials that we can review, the better opportunity it is that you'll have of getting, seen by one of our divisions.
Perfect. And of course, if they saw you here and they want you to talk to you directly, make sure that they mention something about the football game or something that we talked about, right? To kind of stand out.
100%. So you definitely want to highlight that, hey, I saw you this past Saturday. I just wanted to connect with you, see if it would be a good fit. And mention your name as well, whatever it may be, just so that it kind of I can register and connect with who is reaching out to me. So yes, you definitely want to highlight that in the subject.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to get all that material together. I'll send it over to you. I'll try to get that by Tuesday over to you.
Sounds good. You're leading man, right? Let's do it.
Well, Candace, it was great seeing you. Thank you for spending time on your Saturday to join us on your holiday weekend. But have a great rest of the weekend, and go Rams. I'm with you on that one.
Go Rams. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys. Have a good night, everyone.